What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the Live Game episode. Herman. 151.
I almost forgot.
This is the Average Man's Perspective on Football. I'm your co-host Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old. Damn. I'm sorry.
And usually we got Brian. Hopefully he'll join us later on. Don't know where he's at right now, but hopefully he'll join us later on. Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Live Game. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter at the /X at Delay Game 3, and on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. Well, we just had the last game of the season, the Super Bowl. It was a pretty good game. The Chiefs pulled it out. Did a repeat. And who's hosting tonight?
That would be me, I guess.
Herman.
So Herman is hosting tonight, so go ahead and start us off, Herman.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. This will be our last episode of the season. We will be coming to you guys live from the NFL Draft in 2024 in Detroit.
In Motown.
A couple months from now. So definitely, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Real quick, too, one thing I want to say. Everybody, we appreciate y'all watching us, and everybody who watches us and participates in our group online, please invite a friend. I'm sure you like sports, and I'm sure you have friends that like sports. So let's build up this Delay Game community. So we're going to get into some news topics, like Marcus said, and then we'll go to some hot topics, and then we'll talk about the Super Bowl game, and we'll end the show. We will keep this one at an hour. There's no reason for us to go over an hour, okay? Y'all long-winded dudes. We're going to see, because if tonight we make it under, within that hour, that must mean that Eddie Kane is the long-winded dude. So I will throw it back to Marcus to start the first news story.
Sure. So CBS Sports coverage of Super Bowl, was it 49? Which Super Bowl was this? 48?
53. 58.
58. I just realized I don't know the Roman numerals.
58.
I should look that up. 58, which featured the Kansas City Chiefs 25-22 overtime victory over the San Francisco 49ers, delivered the most watched telecast in history, with a total audience delivery of 123.4 million average viewers across all platforms, including the CBS television network, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, Univision, and CBS Sports and NFL digital properties, including NFL Plus. Viewership figures are based on Nielsen Fast National Data and Adobe Analytics. Final Nielsen data it says it'll be tomorrow, but it should be already available. I think we can all contribute that to not just the Kansas City Chiefs and to San Francisco 49ers, but probably Taylor Swift as well.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'll take the next news story. We'll stick with the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl thriller between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers in Las Vegas set betting records at Nevada sportsbooks. More than $185 million was bet on Super Bowl 58, with the state's sports books the most ever. According to an unaudited figure released Tuesday, the amount wagered eclipsed the previous high on the Super Bowl in 2022 by nearly $6 million. The state's 182 sports books squeaked out a $6.8 million win on the game, according to the figures, as bettors held their own on a second straight Super Bowl, first held in Las Vegas. Nevada sportsbooks won approximately $4.4 million on last year's Super Bowl. They had averaged a $13.2 million win on the previous 4 Super Bowls. So I guess that means that people are getting better at betting because they'll start playing a little bit more. It seems like the sports books are losing more, I guess, and not winning as much.
Well, sport books are legal in more states now.
That's true too. So that's probably Yeah, that is.
I tell you what, and I saw this on Facebook also. I wasn't worried about the team who's winning or losing. I want to know if my bracket or my points that I chose in my betting pool was going to hit or not. That's what I was worried about getting.
Right. All right, Mark, you can go ahead and take the last news story.
The San Francisco 49ers suffered a heartbreaking overtime loss to the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday, Super Bowl 58. The Niners defense surrendered a touchdown and the extra point. Period. En route to a 22-25 defeat. Less than 74 hours after the game, head coach Kyle Shanahan decided to make a change. First-year defense coordinator Steve Wilks was relieved of his duties on Wednesday, Shanahan announced. Shanahan suggested that the 49ers defense needed a change in philosophy and that they bring a new coordinator would ultimately be the best thing for the team moving forward. That's but just where you were going and where we're going, we're not with this team for the scheme standpoint and things that like that. Looking through it all throughout the year, to at least the few days, I felt pretty strong that this was the decision, that this was best for the organization. But man, didn't you know that first of all, he didn't do as bad as the other two coordinators had before that. If anything, he did better, slightly better. But didn't you know?
Then who? What do you mean? Who?
He did slightly better than what
DeMarco
Ryan and what's going on. Yeah, his giving up average point was just a little bit less than theirs as far as defense. But the defense didn't miss a beat. Man, yeah. you hold Mahomes to 19 points in the Super Bowl. Come on, man.
We all know it's a scapegoat thing. We all know it. You know what I mean? It's so obvious. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
That's what the Shanahan is doing. So. All right, let's go ahead and move on to from the news now. And we can talk about that whole thing. But let's get into the hot topics. First hot topic we're going to touch on is related to the Super Bowl, and is related to that choke artist coach who basically fired his defensive coordinator and blamed him for losing the Super Bowl, and that would be Kyle Shanahan. So in overtime, the Super Bowl, was it a bad decision for Kyle Shanahan to take the ball instead of deferring? Now, just to reference to remember that the new rules in overtime was both teams will get the ball no matter what score the other team does, unless the defense scored a
touchdown,
a safety.
Yeah, or
I don't know if it was a
touchdown. They scored. I think they scored any points.
It might have been any point. Yeah,
I don't think it's been safety. I think it'd been any points.
So Shanahan took the ball instead of deferring. Was it a bad decision? I will let Marcus start this one.
I think I'm gonna have to say yes. Because the way these rules are set up, if you watch college football, they have something similar. Not exactly the same. They don't go by time or whatever, but I think they start like the 35, and try to score points, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. And you always, in college football, you always want to be the second team to get the ball. That way you know what you have to do, how many points you have to score in order to stay in the game, either to win the game or to tie the game to go into another overtime. And, Kyle Shanahan's excuse was, he wanted to have the ball third, which I really don't understand because also when you go second in this format, you put it, especially if they scored, they scored a field goal. You get an extra down. Kansas City got an extra down on every drive. I mean on every first down conversion, they were going for it. on 4th down. They had to. There was no choice. So you get you already know you get an extra down, and you know what you got to do. And I don't know. It's just why you want to go second, just so you can see what they do, and then you can respond accordingly. You know, if you let Kansas City go first and they don't score, you don't have to go for it on 4th down. You can keep a modest game plan and just do 3 and 3 and 3 and out, or you get the 4th down, you can punt. You don't feel bad about punting. So yeah, I think it was a bad decision. But what I think even was a worse thing about the situation is that if you listen to the players' comments after the Super Bowl, Chris Jones? He said that they went over that scenario plenty of times during the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl about what's going to happen if we go to overtime. But if you heard some of the 49ers players, they didn't even know the rules about overtime. Like some of them still thought that if we scored first, we'd win. Which how you don't know that. And so I think it's a matter of it was a bad decision. I think Kyle Shanahan got outcoached. They say attention is in the details. This is what the Chiefs' 4th Super Bowl, 3rd time winning. Andy Reid obviously goes over the little stuff. And for your team not to know that the rules had changed and that with the overtime, and that if you scored first, that you were not going to win the game. And the fact that you probably didn't even walk through. There was no situational awareness in that. According to Chris Jones, they did walkthroughs. They had total situational awareness about what's going to happen. And if you look at the like I've been saying all week, look at YouTube and stuff, when the 49ers announced that they were going to receive that ball, Patrick Mahomes was happy as hell. He ran back. They're taking the ball. They taking the ball. They taking the ball.
Chelsea said that the ref said, "Are you sure?" He said they said, I think that they might have audio, but they turned and said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." But yeah, and you did. You saw Kelsey. You saw Mahomes hopping and jumping for joy. It was like, take it,
Yeah, and that's why, because if you want to go second, so you know exactly what it is you have to do, and you can plan accordingly. And like I said, they were going to go for it. It was going to be a 4th down every 1st down until they got into the end zone. And that's just an advantage you had. And I think, like I said, the worst thing is that they didn't know that. They didn't plan for that. It almost reminds me of way back in the day. This also connected to Andy Reid when Donovan McNabb didn't know that during the regular season a game could end in a tie.
Yeah.
It's like you should know that those details should be there. And so it was a bad decision, and I don't think they were prepared as Kansas City. So yes, it was a bad decision.
Mark, are you frozen?
No, you're not frozen.
I'm initially I probably would start off saying it was a bad decision, but I kind of understand a little bit why Shanahan went that route. If you look at it, the San Francisco defense were out in the field for a long period of time in that 4th quarter. He kind of wanted to get the guys rest. Now, like you said, Kansas City whole game plan was, hey, look, they score, we get the ball, we gonna end it now. We score a touchdown, we going for 2, we gonna end it. We gonna make this is gonna be it. They're not gonna be a 3rd time. I just don't think the 49ers really believe that much that Purdy could put them in a position to score after Kansas City. So I think that's why he went for it and took the ball first instead of kicking it off to him. Plus, I think the defense was tired. You had Greenlaw that was hurt. You had another safety got banged up. Ryan had got banged up on the previous play. So I think he wanted to give the defense a little bit of rest going into that 4th quarter. But, hey, man, the whole thing boils down to Patrick Mahomes, man. He made everybody regret that they didn't draft him in that draft. You don't give that man time to do nothing like that. You just don't. And by them not putting him in the position for him to do it, that's what he does to you. That's what Patrick Mahomes do to you. But the San Francisco, I don't think they were not prepared to really to battle in overtime. For one, they didn't know the overtime rules either, and they just wasn't prepared for it because their assumption was we get it first, we scored a touchdown, we stop them, we can end it. Well, nah, not Kansas City, not with Mahomes. So no, that was not going to happen. But you were correct on the part where Mahomes was so surprised that, oh man, they're gonna take the ball first. They're good. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what Kansas City wanted, and that's what they got.
So it was definitely a bad decision, and in my opinion, you can't even use my defense was tired excuse, because this is the thing. If Kansas City scores, you know what you have to do. You still have the advantage, like Marcus said, of 4 downs and knowing exactly what you need to do in order to either tie the game back up or win the game. So if your defense is tired, and there's a decent amount of break, in my opinion, between the end of regulation and the start of OT, because you got commercials and you had the coin toss and then you had the kickoff. So, and again, even if your defense is tired, you know what you have to do if Kansas City scores. So you just can't use as an excuse. This is a classic situation of these offensive coordinator, head coaches, and because offensive coordinators do it too. But this is a classic situation of these, I'm smarter than everybody in the room, everybody on the field. I'm the smartest man alive right now. Who's thinking about...
He did say analytics told him to do it.
Yes. Who's thinking about the third possession? Who's thinking about that? That's what I'm saying. No, bro. No. He playing. A lot of times you do want to play checkers, but the Chiefs was playing chess. I mean, he was trying to play chess, and the Chiefs were playing checkers. 2 moves, baby, and that was it. You can't try to be so smart that you're stupid. You just can't, and that's what a lot of these OCs do. He's a head coach, but he's an OC. And
oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the third thing too is at this point we got to start looking at Kyle Shanahan and saying he's overrated. I'm sorry, he's blown 3 Super Bowl leads, a 8.1 as an OC in Atlanta, and he's blown 2 10-point leads as the head coach in San Francisco. It's about that time, and then you scapegoat and blame it on the black defensive coordinator, bruh. That's what we're really gonna do right now. When your team came out and said that they didn't know the overtime rules, and you're the head coach, it's your job to make sure that they knew this stuff. But your black defensive coordinator was your scapegoat. Man, get out of here.
Well, if you think about it, if you pay attention hard enough, the writing should have been on the wall, because on the last drive by the Chiefs, Wilkes, I think, had them lined up to do a cover 0 blitz, and Kyle Shanahan got a timeout and told him to change the play.
Is that why? That's why he called that timeout.
He sure did.
Okay.
He called a timeout.
He sure did. Yeah.
It didn't work. It didn't change anything. And I forgot what I was saying. And here's the thing about the defense being tired. Chiefs defense, they're tired. They've been, you know what I'm saying? Everybody been on that field the same amount of time.
Right.
So, and another thing is, why not go second? Besides that muff punt, you had kept Patrick Mahomes out of the end zone. All they had scored was field goals at that point.
Pretty much.
So why not trust your defense? You know what I'm saying? Then it could have been reversed. They could have went second, let Mahomes and them come down there, kick a field goal, and then that could have been the other. You can win down there and score a touchdown.
Yep.
Well, the only thing I can think of, unless he's calling, when Kansas City had that 4th and short pass that Mahomes ran, the option pass, if they'd have stopped him, they'd have won that game. Yeah. Is he trying to blame that on them on Wilkes from not being able to stop him?
Well, he blamed the whole loss on him. So at this point,
okay, the whole loss is probably not him because
he fired him.
You didn't make adjustments the second half for the blitz and picking up the blitz.
No, he didn't. They didn't score in the second half.
Who, the 49ers?
Yeah. I'm not mistaken.
You didn't do a job. You did a good job with
They
adjusting.
scored, didn't they? They scored.
In
They scored field
overtime.
goals.
Field
In
goal.
overtime.
Field goal.
They scored field goals in the second half. I guess
Well, Phil, okay.
yeah, they ain't scoring any touchdowns in the second half.
But I'm just thinking that what he's blaming it on.
Yeah,
because he didn't stop in
scored.
the fourth down.
Yeah, they scored 3 field goals in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And a field goal and a touchdown in the second quarter. But you're an offensive genius. You're so smart. He's a fraud. I mean, that's what
You can't say that. You going too far. Your hateration is showing. He is not a fraud.
No.
He is not a fraud.
Look. Okay, so then how about he can't coach in big games then?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say here's the thing.
Can't coaching but game.
But here's what I'm saying. Like, so if you watch a lot of college football, and this is what keeps Cliff Kingsbury's problems. A lot of the offensive geniuses in college football, when they're head coaches, for some reason they cannot get good defense, and that's not really the case here. But it is kind of the case. And
Not
it
even
is kind of
close to the case. No, it's not.
I mean, the defense didn't come through at the right. I mean, you can't really put that. You really can't. Well, I guess you can. In ways, you can. But he wasn't the head coach. Now that Atlanta fiasco, he wasn't.
Okay, he wasn't. But in that game, I think the offense did the exact same thing. They did not score
All he
much
had to
in the
do
second
was
half.
run the ball, and all he had to do was run the ball. He shouldn't have been passing.
Yeah,
What did he do? Run the ball
in
in
the
that one?
Atlanta game. He can't coach. Okay, I'm not gonna say he's a fraud. You know what? He's a great regular season coach. How about that?
Okay, I don't know, man. Are you really just a great regular season and you keep making the Super Bowl, or you make it to the NFC Championship game?
Bruh, we are not playing for participation trophies.
But it's not.
Okay.
But you can't say just regular season if you actually make it to the Super Bowl. Okay, you didn't win, but make it to the Super Bowl.
He gets an easier road because he's a great regular season coach. He usually has the first round. He has the first bye.
He
So
get a
he's
little.
not
He get a
playing as
little
many
nod
games.
for getting them there. He gets a nod for getting them there.
But if you're not coaching good in the big game, you're just a regular season. You're just a regular season coach. That's what it boils down to.
Maybe we need to bring his father in there as an offensive consultant. You know what I'm saying? Some good, somewhere. But here's the thing: many people, and of course, it was different coaches. But John Elway and the Denver Broncos, they lost the Super Bowl 3 times before they won 2 of them.
That's true.
So sometimes,
Yeah, but
You know how they won them games? You know how they won those Super Bowls? Even as great John Elway was? They ran the damn ball. They ran the ball.
Terrell Davis.
and it was a different coach too. It was different coaches.
Yeah. But all right, let's move on to the next one. I mean, I can see beat up Shanahan all night if you want to, but we'll move on. We'll have more about that as we talk about Super Bowl. So we'll move on to this one. This one's Shadlow. What are your thoughts on the sideline? I don't know if we want to call it a sideline blow up. What are your thoughts on the sideline blow up between Travis Kelce and Andy Reid? I'll take this one first. Man, Travis Kelce, you were so out of line. So out of line. Your head coach is trying to coach the game. He's in his play sheet, and you come over and body this dude. You almost knocked him to the ground. Almost knocked him to the ground because you mad because you wasn't in the game. Man, get out of here with that mess. You have to be. He's a veteran. He's got to be more mature than that at this point. Like, I mean, I'm not sure what season is Kelce in.
He was drafted in 2013, so I think it's like his 10th year.
Yeah, you're a 10-year vet. You can't be acting like that. I get all the football players are passionate on the sideline and they want to get in the game, whatever. But you're a 10-year vet, man. You can't body your head coach while he's looking at the play sheet in the middle, in the biggest game of the year. You know what I'm saying? It's the Super Bowl, bruh. You can't do it. Go yell at your offensive coordinator or go yell at your coach. Body him, bump him.
What Matt Nagy going to do?
Well, I don't know, but this is the thing. Usually, personnel packages are going to be dictated. They are going to be dictated by the plays, but a lot of times you can sub in and out, and the position coaches have a lot to do with that, I believe. So again, don't body your head coach. Body up one of your other coaches But you can't do that, especially as a 10-year vet. You got to be more mature. Mark, what you think?
Yeah, this was a bonehead move for Travis, man. I know he felt like he wasn't utilized as much, and he got frustrated with it. But you can't run at a coach like that, man. You can't. Ain't no way. And then it wasn't tough as much about as it should have been. But what about if he knocked him down? What about if he'd have knocked him down? It really would have been. It'd really be silly. The other question I got about it is, what about if it was a black coach? That's another question.
Or a black player.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't.
If I was the coach, I would have went off on him, man. It would have been problems.
Sit your composure. Damn.
Yeah, I lost my composure. Lost focus on the game, and I would have.
Well, that's when you sick one of your coaches on him. Like, hey, take care of this. You're in the middle of coaching the game. You ain't got time to be worried about that.
I agree with you, but for me, my personality, the way that I would have been, I would have lost it on that dude.
Not at that moment. Like you say, he was in the middle of
No, I think I would have too. I would have too. I lost all thought about it.
I would have lost it, bro. I would have lost it. Go ahead, Marcus.
So I mean, yeah, it was wrong, but I don't think it was as big as a deal as everybody's making it out to be. First of all, I don't think he meant to body him. Like, I think his momentum took, and Eddie Reed was kind of like just lost his balance. Like Eddie Reed wasn't expecting it, so I think he's kind of like
right.
I don't think he meant to come as close as he did. And I think at that point, Travis Kelce, he only had one catch for 1 yard. So, he's supposed to kind of wait.
He was frustrated.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
So, but Marcus,
Travis Kelce has to be in the game for him to win that game.
I'm going to ask you just one question. Is there a time and place for everything?
There is.
Yeah. Was this the time for him to have that little kid moment?
But like I said, ain't no more games after this. There's no more games.
That's what it was, Mark. It was a little kid moment. That's the best way to put that. It was a little kid moment.
I'm saying, he got to win the game. He got to get some catches. He got his, megastar girlfriend up there, chin. You gotta get me in the game, coach. You gotta get me in the game. I gotta be a bigger part of this game plan. Like I said, I don't think he meant to actually bubble to. I think maybe he's just momentum, and because I think he was just as shocked as Andy Reid was. Andy Reid almost fell over. But
you can't get in the coach's face like that.
I think it would have been bad if he'd have fell over. I mean,
if he'd have failed,
you got this 33-year-old 6'5" athlete. You got this 65-year-old old man. You can't be doing that. But I think it was just the heat of the passion moment. They really wanted to win. Up until then, the defense, like the offense, really hadn't done much. Had some field goals, and they got that touchdown. The only reason they got it because of that muff punt. But I think Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, I think they're okay. I don't think, as long as they're okay, then, it ain't that big a deal. But, I wouldn't suggest doing that again.
So you saying no harm, no foul. Your player can run up to you and bump you in the
game.
I
don't think he'll ever do that again. And let's be real. Had they lost that game, it would have been a much bigger deal. They'd like, crack down. They crack under pressure.
Let's think,
it would have definitely been a way much.
Let's say
they crack under pressure. The dynasty is over.
Marcus, let's say it was Mike Tomlin. You think Mike Tomlin would have let it roll on?
I mean, come on now. As much stuff Mike Tomlin let AB get away with, then yeah, he probably would.
Nobody has approached him in a game like that. No.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't feel like he was trying to be malice.
Interesting.
I don't feel like he was being malice with it. I just feel he was heat of passion. I don't really think he meant to bump. I think he just momentum just got ahead of him. And Andy Reid was off balance. That's the reason why he stumbled, because he was off balance. But it would have been a much bigger deal had he lost that game. But he definitely shouldn't do it again. That's for sure. And I think that was the first time I ever do it. That's the first time I think I ever seen him doing something like that. So
I don't think we've ever seen him do anything like that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the pressure of having your megastar girlfriend in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Probably to keep Taylor Swift away from the game.
The Super Bowl is not the place for a little kid moment, like Mark said. That's what it boiled down to. So hopefully he learned his lesson. So let's move on to the next topic. So we're gonna rate these dynasties, and this is I don't know if we have a big discussion on this or not, but we'll see what time we.
Well, since now we have a new dynasty and the Chiefs.
Y'all getting along. So yeah, let's go with this. We're gonna rate the dynasties from lowest to highest, and these are the dynasties we're gonna rate. We're gonna rate the '60s Packers, the '70s Steelers, the '80s 49ers, the '90s Cowboys, the 2000s Patriots, the 2010s Patriots, and the 2020 Chiefs. Is that the reason why we split the Patriots?
Because it's kind
Wasn't
of
they a dynasty
a lot of
for-
people. A lot of
Yes.
people look. A lot of people look at it. It's widely regarded as two different dynasties.
Separate dynasties.
It's not the
Okay.
same because they went like 8 years before they won another Super Bowl after the 2014 one against the Eagles.
All right. So I'll go first with this one. And my ratings could be off out because I'm a little confused about the 2000s and the 2010 Patriots. So hopefully I got this right. I'm going to rate the 2010 Patriots first, 2000 Patriots second. That only makes sense because they're pretty much back-to-back dynasties. The 90s Cowboys are going to be third. You know what? I messed this up a little bit. The 80s 49ers, I'm going to make fourth. The 2020 Chiefs, I'm going to make fifth, with a caveat that they can ride because their dynasty's really just starting.
Yeah, they definitely go rise.
Yeah, they're gonna rise from fifth. Sixth will be the 70s Steelers, and then the seventh will be the 60s Packers because I don't even know what the hell that dynasty looks like. Okay, Mark can help us out on that one.
Contrary to
I
what
went-
you guys may believe, I was not
Yeah.
back there in the '60s. Okay,
I went this way because I went this way because the Patriots dynasties were just that. We may never see that again, ever. The domination of that. That's why they're 1 and 2. The Cowboys are 3 because not only did they go back to back, but they almost did a 3-peat. They lost an NFC Championship game, and then they went the year after that under a whole nother coaching system. So that dynasty could have been one of the greatest ever if Jerry Jones hadn't been the most egotistical. Anyway, 49ers fourth. That's pretty much no explanation necessary. Chiefs fifth because again they're starting their dynasty, and I think they're going to be probably. They could go to number 1. It might be rough to do, but they're going to be right there with the Patriots. They're going to jump the Cowboys dynasty. I'm pretty sure because if they 3-peat,
That's never been done before.
I was going to say it's never been done. So if they 3 automatically shoot the number 1 for me. But that's mine. I don't, that's the best I could do. Mark, how you doing?
hey, we share the same sentiment on the number 1 and probably the number 7. Number 1 is the Patriots. Patriots are they.
Which one? 2010s?
I mean, I got to compare both of them, man. They were dominant in both the time that they did it. So that's, I have Patriots as number 1, regardless if it's
Both of them? Okay.
I have them
I
number
can
1.
agree with that.
2, I have the Steelers. For the short period of time they did theirs, I give the Steelers.
They won 4 in 6 years. That's pretty impressive.
I've got the Cowboys third. I've got the 49ers fourth. I got the Packers fifth, to be honest with you. The Packers had some dynasties back in the early days, man. They could have actually done 4 back then.
They were very dominant in the 60s.
Kansas City is you're absolutely right. They have the option of leapfrogging up. They do. With a 3-peat, yeah, they're gonna hop up. They hop above that. And of course the Giants, the last. So we're pretty similar on the top to the top.
Who you create your own list?
They know Giants was on the list.
The Giants wasn't on that list.
Oh, John, you didn't have Giants. Giants had four Super Bowls for Dynasty.
But they wasn't close enough though.
Like two somewhere in the 80s. And
You gotta be somewhere in the 80s, what was it, the 90s? Giants know on that list, sir. Giants
It's
know
not
on
a
that list.
dynasty. You gotta be.
You gotta
Man,
be close.
you gotta get them credit for. They got 4 Super Bowls, man.
It's not about that though.
Doesn't matter how
Dynasty
many
is
you
within a
You got it within a
yeah, a
certain time
dynasty is
frame.
within a time frame, right?
That's
Oh,
why
you got to
that's
pay.
why I
That's
spread
why
out
because
the
you got it.
That's why I spread out the
That's why I split the
2010 Patriots and the 2000 Patriots. Got to be in a certain time frame.
This man had
You got really.
Patriots get the top.
They ain't even got the
Patriots get
same
top
players.
teams.
And like
I
with
slid
all
the
these,
Giants in there. Okay.
like with all these ones I named, at least the coach and the same players
Hey,
were there.
remember, I was around when the Giants played theirs. Okay.
I was too.
Well, but you gotta have some of the same players and some of the and the head coach there.
This man
like that.
put the Giants in there. That's nice. Go ahead, Mark.
Nobody considers the Giants a dynasty.
No.
They just got 4 rings.
Not at all.
That's all.
Oh, God. Fun. Go ahead, Mark. How you rank yours?
All right. So for number 1, I have the 2010 Patriots. By that point, Tom Brady was an elite quarterback. You know, had they had an undefeated. They almost had the undefeated season. That was, even though I was still in the 2000s. You know, Tom Brady was who he is now. He was in there. They were great. So 2010 Patriots number 1. Number 2, me and Mark on the same page. I got the 70s Steelers. They were dominant. They won 4 and 6 years. You know, very dominant. Number 3, I have the 2020 Chiefs. And the reason I had them so high is because of what they've done in the time frame. Like Patrick Mahomes has been to the AFC Championship game every year since he started. It's been 5 out of 4. Been 5 Super Bowls. No, it's not 5. Yeah, 5. It's 5, right? No, it's 4 Super Bowls.
4.
So it's been the 4 Super Bowls, and he's only 28. So I got them ranked so high because in the short amount of time they did, nobody's done it as fast as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have done it. Number 4, I got the 80s 49ers. You know, you got Bill Walsh, you got Joe Montana. You got to have them ranked high up there. Number 5, I got the 90s Cowboys. Yeah, y'all know the triplets. They were great. They should have had more. They probably should have had 5. And like Herman said, Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Johnson. Well, if not got rid of the coach. If Jerry Jones not got rid of Jimmy Johnson, they probably would have had 5. To be honest with you. Then I got the 60. I got the 60s Packers. You know, they were very dominant, but I didn't see much of that. I'm only seeing it on NFL films. And number 7, I have last. It's the 2000s Patriots. And you say, why are they last? Because to be honest with you, it was a whole. They didn't win in a fancy fashion. I don't like, you know, a lot of those games weren't. That's before Tom Brady came into his own. He wasn't what he was, and later on in his career, defense and Vinatieri. That was his name, right? Vinatieri. One of those.
Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri. Yeah.
Yeah, he won those first 3 Super Bowls, so that's why I have them ranked last.
That's interesting. A little bit of hater in there. Cowboys being ranked so low, considering they have no.
I can't believe y'all won't get Giants no love. They got 4 Super Bowls.
But they're not a dynasty.
Period.
You talking about different coaches and different quarterbacks. Okay,
listen to me real quick. Kansas City got 4 Super Bowls. Green Bay got 4 Super Bowls. Why is it the dynasty? Why?
Listen. Wait a minute. The Giants Super Bowls were in.
I gave you
right.
I'm only counting the 2020 season. I don't count that Super Bowl they won back in the 60s. That doesn't.
Listen, the Giants Super Bowls were in. Right. The Giants Super Bowls were in 87, 91, 2008, and 2012. That's way too spread apart. That's not a dynasty.
I mean, going by your logic, Mark, I should have had the Redskins in there. Going by your logic.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
they got 3
They got 3 in the 80s.
No, you ain't got 4. You ain't got 4.
But they got 3 in the 80s.
You ain't
got 3 in the 80s
right.
going into 91. By your logic, I should have put the Redskins in there. But I didn't because it was too spread out. Same coach, but different quarterbacks. It was too spread out.
That's way too spread. All right, let's get into this last topic and we can review the game. Y'all get long one. Should Steve Spagnuolo get into the Hall of Fame as an assistant head coach? Spagnuolo is widely regarded as one of the greatest defensive coordinators in NFL history. He has coached 4 top 10 teams as a defensive coordinator in terms of yardage. He has won 4 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator, 1 with the Giants and 3 with the Chiefs, making him the only coordinator, offensive or defensive, in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with 2 different franchises. Should Spagnuolo get into the Hall of Fame as an assistant head coach? Marcus, I'll let you start this one off.
I didn't do my research enough. I wasn't able to determine if there were any coaches in the Hall of Fame that were not head coaches, that did not make it into there as head coaches. I don't think there are.
I don't
If
think
I'm
there
wrong,
is
let
right
me know.
now. No, I don't think there is now.
Which is weird. So that means Buddy Ryan. Well, that means Buddy Ryan.
I'm sorry. Oh, let me phrase that. Our defensive coordinator is in there, but he wasn't because of coordinator. It's because he was a player.
Yeah, I'm talking about as a coach.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And so, do I think he should be in there? I do. I mean, if you can't just say players and head coaches, because I mean, other people getting there, like Jerry Jones in the Hall of Fame. I believe the former owner of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, some owners are in there.
Yeah. So if owners can get in there, I wouldn't see why assistant coach like Spagnuolo shouldn't be in there. Like he's won 4 Super Bowls. And just off the fact that one he won in New York was when he knocked down the undefeated Patriots. That alone, to me, is enough to get in there. I mean, he went in there, shut them down, and managed to get a win for the Giants. Eli managed to get a Super Bowl out of that situation. So, I don't see why not. I think maybe we need to start looking at assistant coaches and throwing them in there if they meet the criteria. And if anybody should start, it should probably be Steve Spagnuolo. And if we're saying that that the Chiefs are probably going to win, they're going for a 3-peat, they could win a 3-peat and probably win more than 4. It might be 5 or 6. And if Steve Spagnuolo is that coach, how does he not make it in there? I don't think he has to be a head coach, even though he has been, but I don't think he has to be a head coach to go into the Hall of Fame. He should be able to go in there as assistant coach. I think he's earned it. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I think he's proved it.
All right, Mark, what do you think?
I agree with you 100%, Marcus. Steve Spagnuolo is credited for developing multiple All-Pro players throughout their career. Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, Trent McDuffie, cornerback right now for Kansas City. He helped develop them. Think about it. When he got started, he was in the original World Football League when they were playing over in NFL Europe as a league over there. He was coaching. That's when he first got his teeth in doing NFL coaching, and then he moved up the ranks from there. By far, his teams have won championships because of how well he's coached on defense. He definitely should get a nod in there when it comes down to picking a coach for the Hall of Fame. But yeah, he deserved to be there. I agree.
So, when I first read this, I was like, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. But now that I'm thinking about it and breaking it down a little bit more, only one Super Bowl should really be credited to him and that's the one with the Giants, because they did knock off the undefeated Patriots. But the 3 that he's winning with the Chiefs, I mean, come on, y'all. He's got Patrick Mahomes out there, bro. Now, the one he won with the Giants, I'll give him that because he won that with Eli Manning, right? You're talking about he's sitting on the other side of Patrick Mahomes. Now, don't get me wrong. His defenses do step up in the playoffs and in the Super Bowls, in those Super Bowl wins. But so you said 3 with the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He held Purdy to 22 points. He held, who is the Eagles quarterback?
Jalen Hurts.
Not when they won the Super Bowl. No, when they lost the Super Bowl. Sorry, when they lost the Super Bowl, there was Hurts. Okay.
When they lost, they lost to Tampa Bay. No, yeah,
No. When the Chiefs beat Eagles, they won 38-35. Who was the quarterback? Was it?
Jalen
It
Hurts.
wasn't Hurts, was it?
That was
Okay.
last year.
Okay, I'm tripping. So Hurts put up 35 on him, and then the San Francisco 49ers, Garoppolo, he held them to 20. But on the flip side, in the win against the 49ers, his offense put up 31 points. And then against the Eagles, the offense put up 30 points. And then, of course, this Super Bowl, they put up 25. So looking at all that, summing it all up together, I can only say one Super Bowl was because of his defense. And I'm going to say it's a Giants Super Bowl. The other three, he has Patrick Mahomes. So I'm sorry, he's not a Hall of Fame assistant head coach. Assistant coach. I don't think he gets in for that.
But okay, but you also got to remember, number one, is that it's not just a Super Bowl game. It's every game leading up to that. So you can't just look at the Super Bowl game. And number two, by your logic, then no head coach with a superstar quarterback should be in the Hall of Fame. So Andy Reid shouldn't be there. Bill Belichick shouldn't be there. Jimmy Johnson shouldn't be there.
You're talking about
Bill Walsh shouldn't be there.
Though. It would be different if he was shutting out teams every Super Bowl. I'd say, oh, heck yeah. His defenses play good and maybe even great in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. But at the same time, too, the Chiefs' defense has struggled the last year. He's been there throughout the regular season. They've always been the weak link. And you can't deny that. So it's hard to put it in the Hall of Fame because of the Chiefs win.
Remember, you started out with reading this. He is the only coach to go to Super Bowl with two different teams.
And let's look at the teams that he's going with.
Win it twice. He
won with the Giants.
Yeah.
And then he's got Patrick Mahomes. That's like a guaranteed win of the Super Bowl damn near. With Andy Reid on the other side. It's not a hard job.
You just want to give that man the flowers.
No, I can't. I can't.
He just want to give it a sense of opinion. You know, we all couldn't agree. He wanted to be on the
right. Right.
If you would have disagreed, he would have agreed.
At first, when I first read it, I was like, that's an interesting topic. That's good. Then I started thinking about it more, and I'm like, nah, bro, three of them with Kansas City. It's Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the football. It's a little bit easy.
Yeah, there's got to be the hater in the crowd somewhere.
I know.
Hey, look, his defenses. I gave you the numbers. He gave up 31 and 38 in 2 Super Bowls. You can't really say. I just can't. I can't do it. Hall of Fame is prestigious. You can't let everybody into the Hall of Fame. And unfortunately, Steve Spagnuolo, you don't get my vote. All right. So those are the hot topics. And, man, we talked. So let's move into the Super Bowl. It shouldn't take us long. There's no game to talk about after the Super Bowl. So as we all know, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 overtime of Super Bowl 58. Patrick Mahomes was 46, 330 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times, had a quarterback rating of 75 and a passer rating of 99.3. On the flip side, Brock Purdy was 23 for 38, 255 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He was sacked once. QB rating of 69.8 and a passer rating of 89.3. Kansas City rushed the ball. Leading rusher for Kansas City was Patrick Mahomes. 9 carries for 66 yards. Isaiah Pacheco was second, 18 carries for 59 yards. As a team, the Chiefs rushed 30 times for 133 yards. On the flip side, Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries for 80 yards. Brock Purdy, 3 carries for 12 yards. And these 49ers rushed 31 times for 110 yards. Receiving, Travis Kelce, knocked my head coach over. 9 receptions for 93 yards. Mecole Hardman was second in receptions for 3 catches for 57 yards. Total 34 catches, 333 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns total. McCaffrey was the leading receiver for the 49ers, 8 receptions for 80 yards. Brandon Ayuk was second, 3 receptions for 49 yards, and then overall 24 receptions, 26 yards and 2 touchdowns for the 49ers. So let's get into the game on who you pick. Marcus, Mark, I'll let you go first. Mark, who'd you pick? And talk about it.
I took the Kansas City Chiefs. This was my Super Bowl prediction from the start of the season, was Kansas City and the 49ers. So they ended up, making it true. I thought it was an entertaining game, especially the turnovers in the first half. Made it interesting. It was like, it was back and forth the first half. Like I said, I thought Shanahan did not do a fair adjustment on his offensive protection on the second half, and it showed. Purdy didn't get the time that he should have. He had a wide open receiver on that pass play that Chris Jones was bearing down on that, but he didn't have time to set his feet and throw it. So I thought it was a good Super Bowl. I thought it was entertaining. Went to overtime. I took the Kansas City Chiefs. And also, I did enjoy the halftime show. The Usher performance was excellent. It was good. And I took the Kansas City Chiefs.
So, I picked the Chiefs in this too. I disagree with you a little bit about Purdy and the time he had to throw in the pocket. I think he had times when he was rushed. No, but I think there were times when he had plenty of time to throw in the pocket, and he just didn't get it there. It was a sloppy game. Like you said, a lot of turnovers. They wanted to call it a defensive game to make it sound good, but it was a sloppy game.
Turnovers
The turnovers was pretty ugly. But I did pick the Chiefs in this one, and I did get this one right. I'm gonna say something that y'all gonna say I'm being a hater, and I'm not being a hater. I promise you, but I'm gonna say it now right here. Brock Purdy will not be the starting quarterback for the 49ers next year.
Come on, my
He won't be the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
Wait, who do you gonna get? Who's gonna be starting quarterback? Because they can't draft nobody. All the top quarterbacks be gone by the time they get.
Yeah,
believe it or not, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but it's just off of some reading stuff.
They gonna get Trey Lance back?
Nope. Kirk Cousins.
Oh, they've been saying that.
Might be their starting quarterback. They tried to replace him with Brady last year. Brock Purdy will not be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Marcus Tucci had this game.
I had the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. I was down. I was one of the ones that was down in the season. I was like, ain't nobody afraid of them. They can't win like this. Ain't gonna make no deep playoff run. I was wrong. They turned it on in the playoffs, and they pulled it out. I'm about to start saying I can never doubt Mahomes and Kelsey and Reed. I thought it was a great game. I was worried for the Chiefs in the first half. I was definitely worried for the Chiefs in the first half. San Francisco's defense were shutting them down. Especially in that first drive before Cardi fumbled the ball. I mean, they were pretty much dominating the Chiefs, really. I mean, they were just going down the field like they wanted to, and I think that's where they Kyle Shanahan messed up. Should have stuck with that game plan. You should have kept feeding that ball to McCaffrey. And some people say, when he had 30 carries, how many are you supposed to have?
22.
More.
He had 22.
Well, he had 22.
He only had 22.
Maybe I think passes.
Maybe touches. Yeah. He had 30 total touches.
He had 30 touches. And and then how many attempts did 38? 38. I just like I said, that first half San Diego dominate. Then, they had that muff punt, and that was the only time that Mahomes ever scored a touchdown during the regular time.
Regular season.
Yeah, until OC. Until then, it was field goals, and I just felt. And then I think the second half, mix of the first half, second half, 49ers had 3 straight 3-and-outs. That messed them up. Pretty much it was a repeat of what happened when the Falcons and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. You got away from running. I don't know why. McCaffrey, he's been running. You know, they always say Pacheco, he runs like he's angry. These playoffs, McCaffrey is running like he's angry, boy. And he just be tearing up and down the field. And I think, you know, that was the offensive player of the year. That's the best player you got on your team, offense or defense. And some people say, oh, with 30 touches, that's enough. Listen, there's no more game after this. Get that man 40. If he wins the game, give him 40. Give him 40. And I think that's just where they went wrong. And for them to have dominated the Chiefs as much as they did, to go into halftime with just I think it was what a 7-point lead.
Yeah, 2-3.
It should have been way more than that. It should have been way more than that. But you know, the Chiefs, Mahomes is that dude. He finds a way. He got it turned on when it needed to be turned on. Walk down that field. And let's forget that. But that last drive before we went into overtime, they just ran out of time. They were walking down that field. They just ran out of time. And as soon as they got that ball in overtime, they walked right back down that field again and scored that touchdown. In fact, it even looked like he had more confidence in overtime than he did during regular.
They were ready. They were ready for it.
Yeah,
they were ready.
Yeah, seemed like he had more confidence. So, you know, I picked the Chiefs, and I was right. And for the record, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the Usher Halftime Show. And I said it on Facebook. Rihanna was much better. And I'm gonna just say this: Usher need to keep his hands off dudes' women. You know what I'm saying? He gonna mess around one day and put his hands on the wrong woman. I would never take my woman to Usher concert. I promise you that. He gonna learn one day. He gonna mess around and find out. Okay. And Rihanna was much better.
Yeah, I think as a whole, when you look at this game, you can see a lot of flaws in Kyle Shanahan, and he's not the coach that he's making him out to be. And he's not. And just like he scapegoated Steve Wilkes, that's why I say that Brock Purdy's not going to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
I do believe you if they can't get Kirk Cousins. They can't get him. Who else are they going to get? It has to be Kirk Cousins.
It probably has to be Kirk. I can't think of who else is. Well, no, he won't. Russell Wilson could be out there, but he might not want him. But the way Shanahan,
you know who should have went to the 49ers, and I don't know if he was ever in contention. Aaron Rodgers should have went to the 49ers.
I think they might have tried to get him too.
You think so?
I don't think he's going to be. Yeah, I don't think he'll be. I don't think Purdy's going to be the starter.
Why wouldn't he? He was
because Shanahan's scapegoat. So we already saw him scapegoat as defensive coordinator. And in honesty, I'm not going to say that Purdy blew the game for them, but he couldn't win the game. He just couldn't win it.
He did enough to win the game.
Obviously he didn't because they didn't win. Patrick Mahomes did enough to win the game.
Well, no, if they had blocked if the O-line had blocked like he's supposed to, what's his name was wide open. He had two players on that play, and dude even admitted that overtime play before they kicked that field goal. That guy, one of the guys, even admitted he missed his blocking assignment. If he had,
I do agree with Herman on one portion of that. I think if they were confident in Brock, they would have kicked that ball off to Kansas City in the first in the overtime. If they were,
why be confident in Brock? Why not be confident in CMC?
Because they know that he go there and give him a score. That's why
couldn't CMC go in there and get you the score? Why couldn't Christian McCaffrey go in there and get you the score? Like, why are you even putting it? It ain't about trusting Brock. Why even put it in his hands? You got the offensive player of the year, and who was in heavy contention for MVP. You got away from CMC. He did exactly what he did in the Atlanta Falcons Patriots Super Bowl. He should have. You leave the dance with who you brought to the dance. CMC is what got them there. He's the best player on the team. You should have had it in his hands. And that's not a slight on Brock Purdy, but why not go with your best player? Go with your best player.
once again, Purdy will not be. Purdy will not be the starting quarterback.
I don't believe that.
He just won't. I believe that Shanahan will try to replace him. I truly do. So, all right, fellas. So that wraps up the Super Bowl show. We can definitely say that Eddie King is definitely the reason why we always run way over time. It's 8:02. We're finishing up the show right now.
Would you say you proved the point?
We proved our point. Eddie Kane is definitely the reason that the show runs late. So we'll work on Eddie for next season. We'll just say, look, we're going to be an hour and a half show, and that's just is what it is. We'll try to cut down Eddie. We're going to hit you with our final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. Mark, you want to hit your final thought?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all for checking us out all season long. It's been fantastic doing it with you guys once again. I'm sorry. I'm sad that the NFL season is ending, but we got the draft coming up, so we'll be getting back with you guys soon. Enjoy your summer.
Yeah, my final thought. Same thing. Just thank everybody for being watching the show, for being active in the group. And like I said at the beginning of the show, for everybody who's in the group, invite your friends. The more people, the more we get to talk about, the more active the group can be, and we can grow this community. We love the support that we get from everybody. We're sad that the season is ending. But the only good part about the season ending is that the NFL season is starting again, and we'll be at the NFL draft again. We'll plug that. We're gonna take y'all on our journey. We're gonna do a better job this year of taking the Delay of Game group on our journey to the draft. Okay, we got to do a better job of that. We want everybody to get more experience for that. So thank y'all for watching the show again. I'll throw it to Marcus for his final thought, and we will get out of here.
So I just want to, first of all, I just want to give my condolences to everyone who lost a loved one in the Kansas City parade yesterday.
Yes.
We got to do better, people. There's no reason, you there to celebrate a great event, and you mar it by shooting off shots and doing all this. Totally unnecessary. People lost their lives. People just want to come there and celebrate their team. So yeah, it definitely my prayers, condolences go out to those people. Also, yeah, just like you were saying, sad to see the season over. Got a lot of free Sundays coming up. don't know to do it all that time. Luckily, I'm not married, but y'all that married, you probably got to-do lists. Nah, you got no excuses.
USFL, baby. USFL.
Next year will be our, and this I can't believe I'm saying, next year will be our 7th season doing this.
Wow.
7th season.
Wow.
7th season doing this. So that's wild. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out and enjoying the season with us. And before we get out of here, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially watching on YouTube. You catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, Delay of Game. We're on Twitter /X at Delay of Game. Was it 3? And then we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. We will see you in 2 months at the draft. Peace. We out.
Soon. Peace. He ended the stream. He left us and ended the what? Hey, we're still live. Let's let Marcus take us out again. Peace.
We out.